We're following up on the tragedy that occurred last week. I've had the opportunity to the last several days, go out to the hospital and be by the bedside of our University of Maryland police trainee. I've had a chance to meet his wife, meet his mom, and spend some time with other family members. They share with me the fact that when he was in high school, he was a linebacker, and he has been very, very tough and very strong at this moment. So our prayers and our wishes are there. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been in police work for 30-plus years, and I've been at too many bedsides, and I've said too many prayers at bedsides. And there is no reason why we should be walking down this path today. However, with this tragedy there, we're going to make this into an opportunity to grow as an organization and to make it better. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to go to a roll call of one of my districts, police districts, and I was sharing with them my irritation, how upset I am about the scenario, the fact that I had to share with his wife and with his mother the issues that are at stake here. And what I shared with this roll call is that this weapon that we carry on our hips, they are not toys. They're not here for games. They're not here for playtime. We have a very serious job, and we have tremendous responsibility. The Constitution, the laws give us tremendous responsibility, and we're here to protect and to teach our recruits properly. Protocols are not for play. Protocols are there to be followed. Protocols are there to keep us safe. And after so many years in our nation of having incidents like this, we need to have a conclusion to it to stop. We've had a major procedural breakdown in our systems, and we're moving very quickly to correct those to ensure that our employees are safe. This morning, we met with all of the recruits and all the classes that are here. We shared with them, or I shared with them, my responsibility to keep them safe, to ensure that we, as we take control of them, that we have them doing procedures that are correct and by the nation's standards, the top of the nation's standards. But this is not the first step, just looking at this issue here. This is not the first step that we're taking. What we're going to do is a comprehensive look, not just at this incident. We're going to do a comprehensive look to look at how we use guns, how we use tasers, how we use expandable batons, and not just in training, how we use these weapons in every facet in policing this city as a whole. So we're expanding this not just to deal with this incident, but we're expanding this to ensure that we have proper protocols and that we're serving the city in a constitutional way and that the weapons that we use are done properly and that we have the constraints that are there. What I'd like to do is bring up Deputy Commissioner Rodriguez to share what he's doing on the investigation portion.
Good morning. Deputy Commissioner Jerry Rodriguez, as the Commissioner has just mentioned, I'm in charge of Professional Standards and Accountability Bureau. As many of you may know, I've been here approximately 3 weeks. The Internal Affairs Division of the Baltimore City Police Department has been tasked with conducting an overarching, thorough investigation in conjunction with the criminal investigation being conducted by the state police, which we will not get into the aspects of that criminal investigation. But let me talk to you a little bit about what we will be looking. The investigation into what resulted really in the discharge of an officer's weapon, we will peel back that onion with the goal of never, ever having a situation like that happen here again. The Baltimore Police Department is a proud organization with a tremendous history, and we want to make sure that our training exhibits the national best practices, and this investigation will ensure that we work towards that goal. In addition, we're working with the Maryland Police Training Commission in cooperation to do a full investigation of all of our training procedures anytime that there's impact weapons, live ammunition, or simunitions being used. Again, with the very single purpose, as the Commissioner has very clearly mandated of us, that we ensure to all the members of this organization, present and past, all the family members associated with this police department, that we will take every step to make sure that their loved ones are safe. also inside when we're training. We try to keep them as safe as possible in the streets, but we're committed to making sure that our safety procedures are adhered to. And that's a mandate that the Commissioner wants. We're working very diligently, but you have to understand that that will take some time. And our intent is to be as thorough and as open with these investigations as possible. Our goal is simple, to make the organization run as smoothly and as safely as possible. Thank you very much.
Just want to take a couple of seconds to emphasize kind of the new management structure within the police department and within the academy. I first want to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Paul Abel, who's standing beside me right here. He is in charge of our management services division. Paul's got 33 years of experience. He is one of our most senior commanders. Did the majority of his career doing operational work and then spent a good portion of his career working in internal affairs also. Earlier this week, we made an adjustment, and Major Joe Smith, who's standing to my right here, has taken over as the director of the police academy. A little bit of background on Joe is that he has 25 years within the Baltimore Police Department. He's one of our more experienced commanders, and if you look at his career, he has about half of his career either working in internal affairs or here at the academy himself. And in fact, this is his third rotation in the academy. He was here as an officer, as a lieutenant, and actually received an internal commendation for his work that he did here at the academy in the early 2000s. Joe's really been charged with two things. One is immediately building upon the professionalism within the academy and ensuring that all policies and procedures are followed to the absolute utmost. And we have great confidence that Joe, and with the leadership of Lieutenant Colonel Abel, they'll successfully be able to do this.
Gus, you have a couple of questions.
We're a week out now. Is there anything preliminarily that you can talk about? You said one of your EPU guys was one of the few senior people who was there.
Two things. One, part of your first question is this. We were very lucky, as I brought Deputy Commissioner Rodriguez in to sit down with the union last Monday night, the union and their attorneys. I was not happy with the way that we were looking at officer-involved shootings. And we came up with a procedure on that Monday night 7 days ago, or 8 days ago, on how we were going to do that. Up until then, it would take a long time for that information to get to me to correct the organization. With this new procedure that Deputy Commissioner Rodriguez came in, unfortunately, that was the first night that we did that procedure, which within hours of that, I knew what had taken place, which allowed me to start making moves within the organization. What you've seen here, standing the academy down for a period of time, making internal changes, came from the fact that I knew what happened out there, and I had a pretty good feel for the procedural breakdowns. That's why we're bringing Major Smith out at this point in time, for him to correct those procedural breakdowns, to get them back online. Your comment about Efren Edwards, who is a part-time EPU, Executive Protection Unit person, that is assigned to my office under Sergeant Sneed. I have two guys who are part-time here. Efren Edwards works part-time at the academy. One of my other guys works part-time with Special Weapons and Tactics team. I was aware of the fact that he was in training on that particular day. The specificity where the training is where I expect my chain of command to have that and be responsible for that, and to make sure that procedures and authorizations are done in a proper manner.
Can you talk about the breakdowns broadly?
Yeah.
I mean,
The breakdowns.
said we know what they are.
Well, just broadly speaking, is that we have procedures that are in line that need to be followed to make sure that employees are taken care of. I got an email from the maker, I believe, if it's accurate, of simunitions. And simunitions are the weapons that you use. And he was sharing with me through his email that there had been 30 officers, and he didn't give the time period, that have been injured or shot or injured using simunitions and related simunitions. And he was sharing that that's a national issue that has taken place. We've had those issues nationally, so we should not be dealing with them now. That's something that has, in my 30 years, I have seen it too many times, way too many times, and we should have learned from those lessons. We have protocols here that were not followed.
Was this training exercise unauthorized?
Justin, those are very important details as part of the investigation. We just can't get into them, guys.
Commissioner, it seems clear that there was no supervisor on site. Are we correct about that?
I don't want to get into the details. I think what you're getting at is what I want to have those answers to at the same time. Normally, in any situation, you should have a supervisor on scene. There's a number of safety equipment that you should have. You should also have other things that come along with perimeters and checking in and double checks and checks and balances. We have those things. We just got to ensure that they're done correctly.
Can you provide us with the procedures that are in place at the moment?
I think Justin has actually asked for that, and I think what our legal has done at this point in time, and I think Anthony's going to take that up, is how you go about doing that. I have no problem with you having that. It's just a matter of going through the process to make sure that it takes
Just all
place.
MPIA is, we'll release the
Commissioner,
SOP.
what's the status of Officer Kern? Is he suspended with pay, without pay?
Currently, he's on administrative suspension. Not only the officers, but everyone who was involved in that chain of command is on suspension at this time. By Lebor, the rights at this point says that they would have to be with pay. So that's not something that we.
Last question.
Commissioner, what would you say to folks that say a week after this all happened, that this is too early for the training to continue, and then that it might not be prudent to be doing this now, even as a perception? And could we have the major speak to how he's going to lead so close to this date?
Well, I took the academy down to make sure that I felt comfortable with it. I took the academy down to make sure that we have the proper policies, procedures, and that we have the understanding that is there. That was the purpose of doing that. And during that time, I've been reassured by taking steps that we are ready to come back. What we have done is taken any use of force, where they're dealing with striking weapons, tasers, or guns, and move that further back. So right now, we're doing with a lot of academics and physical fitness. So as we continue with the investigations, we'll further make some tweaks. So we're buying ourselves time to make sure that we have those pieces in line.
Is there anything you can do to update the condition of the trainee?
I've been there for the vast majority of the week. I was there last night by his bedside. I'm hesitant to go into that because of HIPAA violations. But the doctors have said to me that he is progressing better than what they expected. However, they say this is going to be a long road, and when you have those type of injuries that he has sustained, is that you can never be too sure we're out of the woods at this point in time. So he's very blessed to be in the position, and I was glad to be able to be by his bedside.
Thanks, guys.